The security of the former president has not been curtailed. Statement from the Defence Secretary.
Various responses on the May Day rallies.
Minister Faiza Mustafa says that more time is needed to examine appeals on the delimitation process.
The bodies of two American climbers found in the Himalayas 16 years after they were killed by a huge avalanche.
Hello there, very good Monday evening to all our viewers and welcome to this edition of Primetime News. We are coming to you live and direct from the Newsfirst studios here in Colombo. Bringing in the news tonight, I am Joel Outschool.
And I'm Jitendra Gunesena. Let's now take a look at the local stories in detail. Machines for the treatment of thalassemia patients manufactured by the Sri Lanka Navy was gifted to the Lady Ridgeway Children's Hospital today under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena.
Machines were symbolically presented to 5 children who have contracted thalassemia parallel to Thalassemia Day, which falls on the 11th of May. The President also made financial donations to the children. The project was undertaken by the Research and Development Division of the Sri Lanka Navy, with Navy personnel gifting 75 rupees per month from their monthly wages. Navy Commander Vice Admiral R.C. Vijayagunaratne presented a token of appreciation to the President to mark the event. And on to your developing story this evening, the media unit of former President MP Mahinda Rajapaksa announced today that 50 soldiers have been removed from his security detail. However, the Sri Lanka Army noted that sufficient police special task force personnel had been assigned to the former president's security detail as replacements.
Issuing a statement this afternoon, former President Parliamentarian Mahinda Rajapaksa's media unit noted that a group of 50 soldiers had been removed from the security detail and that police officers had been recommended as replacements. The statement reads that security analysts opined that there is a serious threat to the former president's safety, adding that as such, there is a general acceptance that he should be provided with special VIP security. The statement says the withdrawal of soldiers places the former president's life at risk. Responding to inquiries, Army media spokesperson Brigadier Jayanath Jayavira noted that the Army security detail assigned to the former president has not been withdrawn completely. He noted that only a group of soldiers had been removed, adding that sufficient police STF personnel have been assigned as replacements. Noting that this decision was taken on the principles that the Army should not be providing VIP security, Brigadier Jayavira added that soldiers assigned to the security detail of the current President and Prime Minister have also been withdrawn. This measure was taken some time ago. I believe the decision was made in October last year. The reason for this is that Army cannot provide VIP security. It is illegal. Therefore, police officers were assigned and the soldiers were removed.
Well, now the matter of the former president's security was also taken up on the political stage today.
The joint opposition has already made a written appeal to the President and the Prime Minister to prevent this vengeful step that has been taken by the government led by the President and the Prime Minister to remove the ring of security that was provided to safeguard President Mahinda Rajapaksa's life. I wish to state with responsibility that this government is now accountable even if there is a scrape on President Mahinda Rajapaksa's body. I would like it too if I was given a battalion. No one can be given battalions in this way. Do you understand? The police provide security. The President has police security and the Prime Minister has police security. There are STF personnel who can be used when necessary. That is all. These issues matter internationally. Military teams cannot be given for people to go around the country attempting to topple the government. If required, any civil citizen can be given the necessary security. This cannot be identified as a sudden decision. They were informed of this step weeks, even months in advance. The government has decided that it is the police that must provide security for all VIPs. This decision has been taken on the principle that the army will not be used for anyone's personal security. Neither the President nor the Prime Minister nor anyone else will receive military security. They will receive police and police STF security instead.
The Anti-Corruption Front organisation expressed the following views to the media today.
They carry out deals with people like Udayanga Veeratunga, who are internationally acclaimed arms smugglers, while noting that it is unsuitable to provide military security to such individuals who travel overseas to hold discussions with armed dealers like this. We also caution that this is also a threat to the country's security. So as the Anti-Corruption Front, we urge that the matter of providing military security to such persons be set aside and that they focus their attention towards implementing the law against them for the illegal acts they have committed and take them into custody. We request that the law be directly enacted against those who disregard and work against the law of the country and take such direct decisions, and hope that the government continues to function this way in the future.
Well, now several parties in the opposition convened a media briefing today. I think the message has gone out to the country that the biggest May Day rally was held in Kirulapana. Never have I seen such a large public attendance. Even though the legal Sri Lanka Freedom Party was there, the legal place of the SLFP's members is at the joint opposition.
The SLFP had this to say regarding May Day rallies.
This is the share. This is a quarter of a share. 4 quarters make up a share. We are people who ate a share of rice. One May Day rally was a share and the other was a quarter of a share. Another May Day rally was held where all the frogs went. We held an extremely successful May Day rally. Remember that the SLFP does not revolve around a single person. The SLFP celebrated May Day with great strength as a party. There is an animal in India which sucks the blood out of you when you touch it. You may have seen 2 such animals sucking the blood out of the patron of the SLFP at the Kirulapana rally. Our largest cutout depicted SWRD Bandaranaike and Sirimawa Bandaranaike. Then there was Chandrika Bandaranaike and Mahinda Rajapaksa. We held a blue May Day rally while looking in the face of Mahinda Rajapaksa. As the patron of our party, we should be proud of the rally we held. Everyone kept questioning whether there would be a crowd in Galle, but we were aware that there would be such a crowd that Galle would not be able to bear the strain. No matter what was said, eventually as a party, we proved that this was a turning point for us. General Secretary of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, Minister Duminda Dissanayake, says that the party's Central Committee will take a decision regarding the group, including parliamentarians of the party who did not attend the May Day rally in Galle. The May Day rally of the Sri Lanka Freedom Party, the United People's Freedom Alliance, took place under the auspices of President Maithripala Sirisena in Galle yesterday. A few other parliamentarians present in the party, however, attended the May Day rally which was held in Kirulapana under the auspices of former President Mahinda Rajapaksa. As the Secretary, I am unable to take a decision on this matter at this point of time. Nevertheless, in the coming future, we will discuss with the party's Central Committee and the Disciplinary Committee and take a decision on the clear measures that have to be taken in this regard. We as the Sri Lanka Freedom Party decided to hold our May Day rally in Galle. All affiliated groups were in attendance for the event at this location. They were present right till the very end of proceedings. So the fact that they did not attend this meeting and instead attended the meeting in Kirulapana is a violation of the party's decision. This also forces us to define this as disregarding the party's decision. However, the decision in this regard will be taken by the Central Committee, not by me, the President, nor the party's General Secretary. The Central Committee, which is represented by all of us, will take the decision.
The Central Committee will definitely take disciplinary action in this regard. There are party disciplines. We cannot take personal decisions. Maithripala Sirisena is protecting the democracy within the party. The party will take a clear decision, and by that I mean the party's Central Committee.
When will the Central Committee convene?
The President has announced that it will convene this week.
Minister of Provincial Councils and Local Government Faisal Mustafa says that more time is needed for the hearing of appeals for the delimitation of the local government. The minister elaborated on the current situation at a media briefing held in Colombo today.
I had given time till August for the delimitation committee, but now I need more time. The elections can only be held at the beginning of next year. I cannot hold elections before that. I'm helpless, and so is the government. Everyone is asking us to hold the elections. We have to hold the elections only after fully completing the delimitation process. If someone is challenging me, then first answer this question. Go before the media and say that the current delimitation system is fair and that there is no need for any alterations. Some are saying that the delimitation of certain local government bodies have been done properly and to at least hold elections in those areas. Well, we are finding it difficult to even find such bodies at this instance. We have to change the delimitation of more than 1,000 divisions. I was under the impression that I could complete this process by August, but looking at the current situation, a much longer time frame will be needed. This is the committee's opinion as well. The secretary of my alliance came and told me to hold the elections because there is an advantageous and momentous opportunity for us at this point of time. I said that I cannot dance according to the tunes of the general secretary of the alliance and that my responsibility is the people. If I look at this in a political point of view, then I will do exactly what the general secretary says. But I have a much more prestigious duty towards the voters. I will not look at this through green glasses but through white glasses. Welcome back to the news. Still in local news this evening. The revised value-added tax or VAT and nation-building tax or NBT tax rates came into effect today. The VAT has been increased to 15% from 11%.
Now, while there have been no changes to the rate of the NBT, the Finance Ministry announced that tax limitations and tax holidays were amended.
Tax holidays for telecommunications services, equipment used in the telecommunications field, copper wire, local telecommunications service providers and licenses issued by the Telecommunications Regulatory Commission have been withdrawn. The revised VAT will also affect projects and goods and services in health services supplies with the exception of several projects. The Finance Minister also issued a list of goods and services that would be exempt from the VAT. The list includes a number of essential goods and services. Paddy, seed paddy, rice, wheat, wheat flour, bread, infant formula, eggs, milk, milk powder, medicines, raw materials used in the manufacture of medicines, crude oil, kerosene oil, books and other items have been exempted from the VAT tax. Mobile phones, agricultural equipment, fertilizer, seeds, aeroplanes, helicopters, gems and diamonds have also been exempted. Education services, public transportation, electricity supply services, money exchange, life insurance, crop and livestock insurance, research and education development services are among the services that will be exempted from the revised VAT tax. Meanwhile, former LTT member Krishna Pillai Kalanesan alias Prabha has been arrested by the Terrorist Investigation Division in Batiklo.
Officers of the Terrorist Investigation Division had apprehended Prabha at around 6:30 this morning. Krishna Pillai Kalanesan alias Prabha has been operating as the LTT's intelligence chief in the Batiklo district during the war. Prabha's spouse has been notified in writing of the arrest. He was rehabilitated at the Valikanda Rehabilitation Centre and was released in 2013.
Secretary, tell us, does the arrest indirectly mean that the LTT organisation has reincarnated?
That is a rumor. We arrest individuals for various reasons, but that does not mean that the LTT has arisen again. Those are complete lies.
Is this situation even indirectly a threat to national security?
To state clearly, there are situations and findings. The relevant organizations will take the necessary measures and will arrive at a conclusion. Now in a situation like this, talking about that is called immature. Thereby commenting on this right now is useless.
13 journalists from the northern province who were killed in the line of duty were commemorated in Jaffna today.
The event held at the auditorium of the Jaffna Public Library was attended by the families of the deceased. In order to sustain democracy in a country, there must be media freedom. We believe that the struggle for our rights will conclude respectively in the near future. This is a historic moment. The public library in Jaffna, Asia's largest public library at the time, was burnt down. These factors led to a struggle later on. We say that in order to have sustainable peace, we need a political solution. Many journalists were threatened. Some fled the country. Indictments are yet to be prepared in the cases pertaining to the murders of 10 journalists. As a former Minister of Justice, I feel great regret. These incidents must be investigated immediately. The era where investigations were suppressed has ended. A new era has begun.
Minister Faiza Mustafa responded to the different opinions that are raised in the political arena regarding the resolution that was passed at the Northern Provincial Council regarding a federal system.
The
passage of a resolution in the North does not have a legality. Any one of us can express any view. The President will not work to divide the country. Therefore, it is the Parliament that needs to take decisions regarding the unitary status of the country and whether it needs to change. That should be placed before public mandate, and a two-thirds majority in Parliament is required. I responsibly state that the sovereignty of the country will not be affected just because a resolution is passed in the North and just because their idea was presented. Anyone can bring forward any resolution. If that particular provincial council is of that opinion, that is a mere opinion. The unitary status of our country cannot be abolished, and it will not change in any way.
The case filed against former Minister Johnson Fernando was taken up for hearing before the Kurunegala High Court today.
The case was filed against the non-payment of goods worth over 5 million rupees purchased from Satusa during the run-up to the 2015 presidential election. At the previous hearing, when indictments were filed, we informed court that there are loopholes in certain documents. The documents needed by the party for the defendant have not been submitted. Several verbal statements have also not been provided. According to the Code of Criminal Procedures, all documents must be submitted to the party of the defendant. Thereby, an order was issued for all the documents to be submitted today. But even today, the documents weren't submitted. This government is trying to cover up their inability by conducting false investigations and making false accusations. That is the truth. You're watching the news at 9. Up next is our investigative journalism segment, Action TV.
Prior to the Sinhala and Tamil New Year, a group comprising of individuals directly connected to the government and individuals who supported the recent change in government highlighted the injustice caused to a certain group of farmers. Today, the chairperson of the North-South Sinhala organization visited the Ragamvela area in Panama carrying food items to be distributed amongst farmers who have been cultivating the land for generations. This comes in the backdrop of interventions made by individuals directly connected to the government and individuals who supported the recent change in government who call for justice to be meted out for the farmers. The visit to this village also comes in the backdrop when a court order issued on the 30th of March by the Potuville magistrate confirming these farmers' ownership to the land has not been adhered to. The court report containing the order, which was released today, clearly states that this land, located on the coastline of the Ragamvela area in Panama, should be distributed among the farmers who have inherited the land. The report also states that although the Sri Lanka Air Force has been maintaining a camp on the said plot of land, the Sri Lanka Air Force has no proof of ownership to the land. Officers of the Sri Lanka Air Force who obstructed a group, including 2 monks, who attempted to enter the area recently, displayed a completely different reaction today. These monks, who belong to the North-South Sinhala organization, have been providing dry rations to the farmers in the area even before the new year, fully aware that the farmers have to engage in a battle for the ownership of these hereditary land and therefore have no time to fend for themselves. Chairperson of the North-South Sinhala organization charges that the failure to adhere to the court order comes in the wake of plans concerning the land that are hatched by groups who have no right to the land but are nourished by political factions. The chairperson of the North-South Sinhala organization too was summoned for a meeting recently as part of this plan.
මේ හෝටල් නිර්මාණය වීමත් එක්ක ඔබට නැවත නිවාස ඉදි කරලා දෙනවා මේ භූමියෙන් පාරෙන් දකුණු පස භූමිය තුල. මේ භූමියේ තියෙන ඉඩම් වලින් මම කිව්වේ පවුල් 40ක ප්‍රමාණයක් මේ භූමියේ ඉඳලා තියෙනවා. ඒ 40ට අක්කරේ බැගින් අක්කර 40ක් වෙන් වෙන්න ඕන. එතකොට තව අක්කර 10ක භූමියේ කොටසක් ප්‍රජා කටයුතු වලට. එතකොට අක්කර 100න් තව අක්කර 50ක් තියෙනවා. මේ 50 තුල සංචාරක හෝටල් කර්මාන්තය නිර්මාණය කරගන්න. ඉතින් ඇත්තටම මේ කාරණේට එකඟ නැහැ ඒ ඇත්තෝ. දේශපාලන අධිකාරී එකඟ නැහැ. එතකොට ඒ අය බලාපොරොත්තු වෙන්නේ මුළුමනින්ම මේ රාහත්තලම ගන්න. ඉතින් ඒකට මම දන්නේ දැන් අපි විරුද්ධව කතා කළේ මම විශ්වාස කළේ ඔබ මේ මතේ ඉන්නවයි කියලා. අවසානයේ කිව්වේ මිනිසුන්ට බය වැඩ කරන්න බෑ මේ දිසාපතිතුමාට නියෝගය දුන්නේ ඉක්මනින් මේ ඉඩම් ටික වෙන් කරලා කටයුතු පටන් ගන්නයි කියලා.
Those who have been living on this land in Panama for generations were chased away from their homes during the reign of the previous government. Ironically, the benefits of good governance were explained to the people of Panama and neighboring areas during the recent presidential election by using the Panama land robbery as an example. Instead of preventing this robbery from taking place under the reign of good governance and allowing the same robbery to take place in a different form by disregarding a court order, shouldn't measures be taken to distribute these lands among its rightful owners? Presidential Secretary, once again, this is over to you.
On a somber note this evening, the Anunayaka of the Seruvilla Sarunaketi Kalyani sect and chief incumbent of the Mangala Rajamaha Viharya in Seruvilla, the most venerable Seruvilla Sarunaketi Thera, passed away today.
The mortal remains of the Nayaka Thera, who passed away at a private hospital, are to be brought to the Seruvilla Rajamaha Viharya.
The Nayaka Thera, who also held the positions of chief incumbent at the Jayasuna Ramya in Trincomalee and the Utturugiri Vihare in Muttur, was 76 years old at the time of his passing. The most venerable Seruvilla Sarunaketi Thera is remembered to this day for his bold action to commence a hunger strike when the LTTE closed the Mavil Aru Anicut. The Nayaka Thera, who rendered a yeoman service to protecting Buddhist heritage in the north and east, was ordained in 1960 and served the Sasana for 56 years. The funeral committee will meet after the mortal remains are brought to the Seruvilla Rajamaha Viharya to decide when the final rites will be observed. Now appearing on the Inside Sports program telecast on our sister channel Serasa TV last night, former Sri Lankan Test cricketers Sanjeewa Ranatunga, Malinda Varnapura and Ravindra Pushpakumara expressed views on the current downfall of the Sri Lanka cricket and what measures should be taken for its revival.
What is happening in the country today is that clubs are being established to which money is provided for. And these clubs have chairmen. So they take money saying that this club would be improved. So to develop the club, they open up bars. They develop the club, but not the game of cricket. So will cricket possibly get improved? The player has no place to go and play. So these are the issues in the sports sector in the country. I do not understand why the administrators like Pushpakumara, Arjuna Ranatunga and Aravinda De Silva cannot discuss these matters and improve these standards. This cannot be revived until this is done.
The
first thing we saw in Arjuna and Aravinda is the level of respect they have. That is not something taken by force, it was something they earned. It is admirable the amount of love people show when they see players like Roshan Mahanama and Hashan Tilakaratna. That cannot be bought from anywhere. Even Kumar Sangakkara was among the crowd that day. And at that very instance he said that the crowds have come to cheer the 96 team. Just like Malinda said before, no matter what kind of selection committee is appointed, it is players from this country who will be selected. Even if Sanjeewa or Malinda is appointed tomorrow, it will be these same players who have developed. So what we can do is to give this team and these players good coaches and good coaching and send them to England.
Well, on that note, we wrap up this edition of Primetime News. Thank you very much for stopping with us this evening. For the News1st team, I'm Joel Outscourt.
And I'm Jitendra Gulasena. Take care and good night.
Good night.